Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Banger is back again today with a final reveal of our Italian light tank project, which is none other than the Carro Armato L6-40 from Italeri in 1 to 35th scale and kit number 6469, and my try to depict the picture you've seen in the intro. So in today's episode, Past George was really busy. After 1.5 episodes, he managed to include the groundwork that he was talking about in the previous episode. This is I have to admit that he has done a pretty good job, and this video has a better composition. So he came up with a plan this time, at least. Anyway, I don't wanna take a lot of your time, guys. You all know the drill. Grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, crack the mandatory cold one because the video is boring and the mandatory cold one is there to keep you company, and let's see what Past George did. Hi guys, welcome back to part 8 of the Carro Armato. This must have been part 8 if I am calculating properly, and we are almost exactly where I left you from the previous episode, and I say almost because I did a few stuff off camera for experiment reasons mainly, and what I did off camera is to create this tree over here and slap some paint haphazardly over here at the top because I had it drying on my paint palette, and I said, what the hell, let's slap that paint over there. Now I'm gonna talk about the tree. You're gonna get bored, but anyway, I need to talk about it a little bit. So this is my third attempt, if I remember correctly. Every time I attempt to make a tree, I do something different. This time, the first two times, I toyed with the idea of small branches, twigs from the garden. Use them to create the trunk, and then use the same foliage as you can see over here. But although the texture was good, I didn't like the shape. So this time I did something different. This time my approach was to create a skeleton with wires, a skeleton of the bark with wires, and then cover it with modeling clay, and that's what exactly I did over here. I then primed the whole thing and painted with 3 different colors. So main color is base coat mahogany brown 7846. First dry brush is old wood Panzeraces 310, and the second dry brush was new wood Panzeraces 311. So it looks good enough, mainly if it was a bonsai tree, but I am relatively happy with it. Okay, it's an improvement, I have to say. Anyway, because I wasn't so sure, I took a photo of it and uploaded it in a Facebook page and onto Reddit, because I wanted to hear other people's opinions, and some guys reached me out and helped me, gave me some advices, some great ideas that I'm gonna definitely try at the future. Mainly their advices were about the tree trunk texture. So one very great idea that a guy gave me from Words and all scale Facebook group. I'm gonna leave a link to that group in the description below, was to use sawdust with PVA glue at the tree trunk to create texture, which was a brilliant idea. Mike, aka Cohen, um, gave me the idea to use sawdust also as a foliage for the tree, colored sawdust. So those are two ideas that I'm gonna definitely try using onto the future. I'm gonna toy with them, experiment with them, and see how it goes. You might ask me why I won't do it now, mainly because I don't have the materials collected, and because I wanna get this one finished so I can move on to the next build, because if I keep it over here my mojo is gonna drop. So the tree is gonna stay as it is for the time being. As I said, I'm relatively happy with it. And what's my next step? My next course of action will be to base coat the rock wall first of all, then create 2 or 3 small bushes to go over here at the top and here at the edges. 3 or 4 must be enough, and then cover the whole thing with the groundwork finally. Now, what I'm gonna use for the groundwork, I'm gonna explain you later. For the time being, let me paint the rock wall and see what can I create, what can I do for bushes, and I'm gonna be back. So guys, small update. I don't know how much of it you can see, but I have already painted the rock wall and the random rocks that are all around. And I have to tell you that I am pretty happy with the outcomes. I am amazed with what I have done to that wall. Now, you may look at the color of the rocks and this may be unusual for you. Let me explain why I have chosen this light sand color. The reason for that is I have driven gravel roads many times in my life over here in Greece. They are kinda typical, mainly if you live in a village and you go to work on the fields and stuff like that, you know, gather olives for olive oil and stuff like that. Most of the fields have gravel roads, and most of the gravel roads have that rock wall formation. I think that our past generations were using that rock wall formations to separate, you know, their land from other guys, or so. As I said, when I drive down the roads and look at that rock wall formations, that's the color that I have in mind, because over here, you know, the soil is not so dark as in other places. I don't know, like where you live, because you would expect me to use grays for the rocks, but over here it's not like that. As I said, the soil is on a much lighter hue of color. That's why I have chosen this. Now, this may remind you of Africa core, but believe me, when my ground material hits the ground, it's gonna be all even and uniform. So stay tuned for that. And you're gonna understand exactly what I'm saying. Now, what I have used for this Africa core rock wall. This is base coated with brown green 71030, and then I have done my first highlight with this Humbrol enamel. It says at the lid matte 103. I have various enamels because I'm a sucker for paints, and whenever I find paint from friends or from whoever, I instantly grab it. I'm not always buying it, they mostly give them to me. and I instantly grab it, even though I am not gonna use it in the near future, because better safe than sorry, better have it, and better have it on your drawer than not have it when you need it. So I have used this one for the first highlight, and for the last highlight I have used Dark Sand 7847. So first, second, third, and that's the outcome you see over here. Now, as I said, next stage is gonna be the creation of some small bushes. So I have finally decided how I'm gonna do the bushes, how I'm gonna create the bushes to be precise, and here is what I am using, what I have used. So I have made an armature from wires, from copper wiring, you know, the stuff that people are using for their houses. I have used a wire that is called 3 by 1.5 millimeters, the flexible one, because there is the non-flexible one which which has which is different. And so the flexible one has this small strands of wire, and it is flexible as the name says. So what I have done is twisted to make small branches, and created these small tree-like things, bushes. So now that I have twisted everything in shape, I have inserted them in this foam piece. I'm gonna go out, prime them, wait for the primer to dry, base coat them, and then I'm gonna apply some glue and the usual foliage that I am using. I'm not so sure about the foliage. I may try something else, but some of them are gonna definitely get that weird moss foliage that I'm using. Now give me the time to prime them and get them prepared, and I'm gonna tell you what exactly happened. And one other thing that I wanted to talk about before I prime those four is that I was going to make even more, but I think four are enough, because if I do more, I'm gonna be tempted to attach them onto the scene, and then the scene is gonna become a jungle, or it's gonna they're gonna be too much for the eye. So four of them scattered in 2 or 3 corners are gonna be just fine, I believe. Now don't you tell me that those 3 are an improvement from the bigger tree, because I won't believe you guys. So it looks like I found a proper way to make small trees, and although I was aiming for bushes, I can take that. So here is what I have created, those 3, and wobbly mode over here to the 4th one, which was the first one. I tried the first one. The last one I'm gonna do with this foliage. Now I have found a trick, a proper way to do it. So what have I done? What have I done? What have I understood? Okay, after painting and stuff like that, you need to add more branches. You need to add more wire strands to this, so you can make them, more puffy, give them more volume, and the more volume you give them, the better they are. So, if you add more branches, in my case I didn't do it because in this photo, vegetation it's not so dense. But anyway, if you want to create something more dense or etc., you add more strands of wire. If not, you keep it as as in my scenario over here. What I have done, I have base coated the twisted wire. I have primed it, base coated it, and then with a hairbrush I applied white glue and then just sprinkled this stuff, which I have bought it from from an arts and crafts store, and it looks great to me. Now, although I would like to add a couple of more, I won't do that. I need to hang back, so because the tank won't be visible. I think that the vegetation is enough for this scene, and I'm gonna show you how it looks. So give me a moment. Here is how the whole thing looks from 10 centimeters away, and here is how it looks from up and above. Now I think that that's enough for the vegetation for the time being, and I think now is the time to finalize the groundwork, which I am talking for ages right now, but you have to admit that this video had more planning than the previous ones. Anyway, what is my next step? My next step, as I said, and finally, will be the groundwork. I'm gonna add the bigger elements, and when I say the bigger elements, I'm gonna add first rocks, then small pebbles, as you can see over here, in random places around the scenery, and finally I'm going to add my own ground. And when I say my own ground, give me a moment to get the scene out of the way and show you what I have done. So yesterday I was a really busy guy, and I have gone outside to my yard, dug up some dirt, as you can see over here. I have put it in the oven because it was a couple of rainy days, so it can dry and kill anything that was living inside, mainly germs and stuff like that. So I have put it in the oven and then pulverized as good as I could. I have collected it onto a jar and we're gonna go with that. So guys, after 1.5 episodes of me talking about the groundwork, I finally managed to lay it down. And look what I have told you before, everything is uniform. The ground is almost the same with the rock wall at the background, and as I said, now it is uniform, so my choice for the color on the rock walls is justified. Now what have I done off camera? Off camera, of course, I have added the small trees I have told you in the previous update, and then after that I have laid down diluted PVA glue with water, and sprinkled on top my ground concoction. So after that I have rolled over the road part to make it more sink in, to make it flatter, because vehicles are passing all the time, and that's how it looks without the tank. That's with the tank included. Now I am closing, I am near the final reveal, but I need to do some stuff, some extra stuff first. The extra stuff that I'm gonna do off camera, of course, once again, is to add some dried grass tufts, a little bit more vegetation and stuff like that, and we're gonna call it done. So guys, we have finally made it. Our diorama scene, vignette, however you wanna call it, has reached its final form, and I can tell you that I am really happy about how it came out. Off camera I added some plants and vegetation, some extra stuff, as you can see, like this stuff over here, some small grass tufts, etc, etc. I didn't go very green, if you catch my drift, because it's September, is after August, and over here in Balkan, after August everything is dried out. Probably September is not so rainy. At least the last years it's not so rainy over here, so everything remains dried out, and you know, like in a kind of summer composition, if you get what I'm saying. So I opted not so many green stuff and etc, and mostly dried out grass for this arid look. Now apart the extra vegetation that I have added, the only thing I have done is to coat the sides of the diorama with a black color and call it done. Now I'm gonna get you to a wobbly mode so you can have a better look. This is how it looks from further away. From the back, from this side, and finally from the front. So this is kinda our photo. I think that I am close enough. Okay, there are vegetation over here and the tree that is bigger, but I had to improvise a little bit. And this is gonna finalize our build. Now, of course, I have some still photos in the end for you guys to have a better and closer look. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this build. On our next video, we're gonna decide what we're gonna build. So I have a couple of things in mind, but I haven't yet decided, make a rock solid decision of what to do next. To be honest with you guys, I'm really happy with this outcome, and I wanna do another diorama, but I'm not so sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. Anyway, I have to admit that I'm really proud with this outcome. Your questions, comments, opinions are really welcome. Your criticism, if it is gentle as always, is welcome, and I would really like to hear it. If you have any advices, anything you have to say about this build, I am really eager to read it. And with all that said and done, it is time for me to go. But before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video, and especially the guys that watched the whole series. Special thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are the best, and you are the reason I keep doing those videos and pushing on. You give me the inspiration, and I love how can I tell it, the back and front, the communication with you guys, so you give me the extra effort to go to my bench and build more stuff. For the newcomers now out there that encounter my video for the first time, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe that it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon, signing out.